1933, UFO crash retrieval and tech gained. In April 1945, the 1st Armored Division captured the SIAI Marchetti Aviation Facility, where the 1933 Magenta UFO, or its debris, was probably kept, and it was brought to the United States. The RS-33 cabinet had continued to work right up to the time of the Italian Social Republic, the period in which a part of the documentation on UFOs, in several sealed boxes, had been sent to Berlin, while a part, a not irrelevant part, remained in Italy. And this latest consignment of material included copies of new documents, which possibly demonstrated the agreements between Hitler and Mussolini regarding the study of a new alien technology. Arrangements were made in 1938. These documents were, a Stefani agency message from Florence containing an interview with Hitler when he was visiting Italy, a banknote of the nominal value of 1,000,000 lira, maybe black funds of the RS-33 cabinet, minutes regarding the oath of secrecy given by professors who collaborated with the fascist government, an invitation, registered, to Benito and Rachel Mussolini to Villa Torlonia, said to be for a routine riservatissima dedicata al gabinetto RS-33 degrees. That is an extremely private meeting dedicated to the RS-33 cabinet. We know that a few years later, just before the Second World War, the Italians produced the prototype of the first jet airplane in history, the Campini Caproni 1. But we also know that the aviation industry in Italy was the last in Western Europe at the end of World War I. So the question is, can it be that the study of the UFO stored in hangars near Milano gave the Italians the needed technology? We must remember that Italian engineer Secondo Campini submitted a report on the potential of jet propulsion to the Regia Aeronautica, Royal Italian Air Force, and demonstrated a jet-powered boat in Venice. In 1934 the Regia Aeronautica approved the development of a jet aircraft to demonstrate the principle used by Campini and requested him to build 2 planes with propulsion a reazione. Jet propulsion. In the second half of the 1930s, scientists such as Enrico Fermi, Lisa Meitner, and Otto Hahn made critical discoveries in nuclear fission in the late 1930s, and other scientists, including Oppenheimer, quickly recognized their work. Oppenheimer was a theoretical physicist who deeply understood the science behind nuclear fission and the potential for creating a weapon using this technology. The U.S. government recruited him to lead the Manhattan Project in 1942, and he assembled a team of scientists and engineers to develop the atomic bomb. The project was successful, and the first nuclear bomb was tested in July 1945. Fermi was the Italian scientist, under Mussolini, who shared knowledge with Hahn since the mid-30s, derived from craft re-engineering efforts. So, we built a nuclear bomb from stealing technology. The main reason why we are watched since oppressed and guarded, all is under wraps. In return for never using a bomb again, only for energy, we were given crafts, intact, to use the technology in our society. Fiber, chips, materials, LCD, LED, communication protocols, propulsion technology. This has happened worldwide in agreement with other governments having the same hidden programs. Another question relates to the original idea of the disc called turboproiettile, turbina proiettile, created during World War II by Giuseppe Belluzzo. Working with the SS after 1943, Belluzzo designed a 3-motor jet pipe system that would rotate an annular wing. Hermann Obert's orbital platform concepts had inspired Belluzzo in the 1930s, so he put his engineering skill to work with this design. In 1933 a cylindrical UFO crashed near Milan, Italy. Inside were 2 human bodies around 1.80 meters long with blonde hair/blue eyes. After the war all the debris and bodies were sent to the US. And now we have corroboration of this event from UFO whistleblower David Grush, who described this UFO crash retrieval which preceded Roswell. Here are source documents from the case, in Italian. Whistleblower David Grush described in Italian, UFO recovery in 1933, perhaps resulting in this telegram from Mussolini's Director of Special Affairs. On the personal order of Mussolini, no mention is to be made of the alleged landing of an unknown aircraft on national soil. A highly confidential Italian government telegram dating back to June 1933 from the Director of Special Affairs, on the personal order of Il Duce, absolutely no mention is to be made of the alleged landing of an unknown aircraft on national soil. The same applies to today's news due for publication by the Stefani Agency, and individual journalists. Maximum penalty for non-compliance will be enforced by the Tribunal for State Security. Roberto Pinotti / Alfredo Lassoni. Can we know more about where these ships were recovered? DG, one was recovered in Italy in 1933, which is the earliest case I've been briefed on. I can't talk about the others. And, what allegedly happened there, DG, in 1933, a bell-like craft, around 10 meters in size, was recovered in Magenta, northern Italy. It was kept by Mussolini's government until 1944 when it was recovered by agents of the Office of Strategic Services, OSS, a former U.S. intelligence agency. Ironically, it predates anything the public has heard about for decades, such as Roswell, etc. I was authorized to talk about it by the Department of Defense's Office of Pre-Publication and Security. Review. Roswell may not have been the first event. Luis Elizondo on 1933 Italian crashes.
But Roswell may not have been the first event, and well known. I mean, there's been some reporting internationally as well that there have been some crashed vehicles, and they were obtained by local authorities, and there was some scientific study done. I want to be very careful not to go too far down the rabbit hole, but I've seen personally some documentation that's very compelling from a particular foreign country, where they had a recovery of a vehicle, and they had some countries conducting scientific analysis on it, and after World War II, allegedly, parts of that vehicle were brought to the United States.
Yeah, I think I know what country that was. It was a South American country, I think. Maybe Brazil. Damn it! Argentina. I'm not sure. I think it's
Italy. Italy.
Yeah, it was Italy.
Yeah, that's as it was explained to me. I saw some documentation. Look, I don't want to get too much into the conspiracy side of the house. There is some documentation that has been validated that was from Mussolini himself, and it's authentic. It's been proven to be authentic. The documentation, so certainly interesting.
And this was Mussolini, so this could have been pre-Second War or during Second War. So it is pre-Roswell.
Lieutenant Colonel Philip Corso, author of The Day After Roswell and the Dawn of a New Age manuscript, was chief of the U.S. Counterintelligence Corps in Rome in World War II. In 1944 the OSS retrieved the craft that Grush and others said Italy got in 1933. Some other interesting 1933 UFO news from Timothy Good, Prologue, Ghost Aircraft, 1933-34. Official investigations into unidentified flying objects in comparatively recent times began in 1933 when, according to contemporary newspaper reports, mysterious unmarked aircraft appeared over Scandinavia and, to a lesser extent, the US and Britain. Often seen flying in hazardous weather conditions which would have grounded conventional aircraft of the period, the ghost aircraft, as they were called, frequently circled low, projecting powerful searchlights onto the ground. Another puzzling feature was that although engine noises accompanied the sightings, the aircraft sometimes described low-level maneuvers in complete silence. On the 28th of December 1933 the 4th Swedish Flying Corps began an investigation, and on 30th of April 1934 Major General Reuter Surd, Commanding General of Upper Norrland, issued the following statement to the press.
One person involved told me that it costs more for the program to maintain the security that has to be maintained to keep it that way than it does for them to actually do the work that they're doing. I mean, the security is a huge element of it, but that's starting to break now. I mean, this is the beginning of that. So maybe you can't hold on to it forever. You just take someone like David Grush to come forward and feel it's his obligation to do so, and everything changes. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, really fascinating and exciting stuff. Thank you so much for coming on to talk about this with us, Leslie.